this lecture, we are going to understand sociological perspective. When I say perspective, the basic idea means the way of looking at things. So, the sociological perspective is how the individuals or members of the society they look at the society. For example, a child's view of the society will be different from the parents' view of the society. A man's view of the society will be different from a woman's view of the society. Why is this difference there in the society? How is it created? This difference is created on the basis of experience that one has. For example, a young man may not find it difficult to walk on the streets at night alone, whereas a young woman may feel terrified of the idea of such. Why is this difference there? It is because they have had different experiences, and it keeps on happening all through your life. We keep experiencing different things in the society on the basis of our gender, our age, our class, perhaps our caste. So, these are the various experiences on the basis of which we have an idea in our minds, we have a perspective in our minds. Now, this is known as the social nature that we have developed as individuals, which is different from the common sense way of looking at things. Now, the common sense way of looking at things is saying things without experiencing them. For example, if I say life is not difficult being a girl, what is the big difference? What is the big problem about it? So a boy saying something like that, it makes it very easy for him to say because he has not experienced this. So he's saying this out of his common sense because it is easy for him to roam around on the streets at night. But a girl will find it different. Therefore, social perspective, which is based on experiences, created on the basis of experiences, is not the same as our natural perspective. Now, the thing is, why do we have so many perspectives in sociology? Why wasn't there just one perspective or two perspectives? Why do we have different perspectives? Because society is composed of plural, that is, it is multidimensional. There are so many concepts exhibited by the so many groups of individuals or members of the society, and they cannot be the same. No two girls are also going to have the same experiences. Therefore, because of the vast scale of unit and the various concepts, various complexities, a deep insightful study is required, and also validation is required. So what is this validation? Validation means that the study which is done on the society, the study on the basis of which a society is studied, it should be able to get repeated. The research, it should act like a baseline and it should be able to be repeated in a different epoch of time. We know that society is logical, society is systematic, and society is also coherent. Therefore, the study of such a society should also be in the same way. That is why it is important that the study should be validated. Now, an important concept by C.W. Mills, Sociological Perspectives, who called this as the sociological he said that sociological perspective is the intersection of biography. Biography means the individual or the member of the society, and history. The social factors which influence the individual. You can relate it to the example I gave at first, that I am an individual, but my history, my experiences are also the determining factors of what my perspective will be. He said that it is an approach to understand human behavior by placing it within its broader social context, because it is not only what is happening to me individually but also in my social life. What are my social experiences and what are the social factors that are being taken into consideration? Now we are going to discuss the five types of sociological perspectives, that is functionalism, Marxism, interactionism, feminism, and postmodernity. In brief, we are going to discuss this. Let us start with the first one, functionalism. Functionalists in the sociology believe that socialization and social integration are important for social stability. This functionalism perspective, it revolves around social stability. They believe that it is important to in the society to have integration, cooperation, interdependence, and they believe that the social institutions perform the functions which ensure that there is social ability. They are against rapid social changes and they believe that it threatens the social order. Whereas they believe that slow social changes in the society are desirable and help in maintaining the stability. The second one is conflict theory, which is the opposite of functionalist theory. They believe that there is pervasive inequality in the society. That means pervasive, it is everywhere, it can be found in every society, and it is on the basis of social class, race, gender, etc. They believe that far reaching social change is required to eliminate social inequality. That means something rapid and something on a very big scale has to happen so that social inequality is not there in the society. They aim to create an egalitarian society. You know that Marx always talked about a society which is classless. So the conflictist theory or the Marxist theory talks about creating an egalitarian society where everybody is equal and everything is done for the benefit of everybody in the society. The third is interactionist theory, where it says that it is not only during the socialization that individuals or members of the society they understand the roles and they understand the meanings that are there in the society, but also with the process of interaction. For example, when you are in the class and you see that your teacher is upset, your teacher is maybe angry, so even when she's not saying something, you can understand with the facial expressions, perhaps with her gestures, that okay, something is wrong, and if I am misconducting myself, I have to conduct myself in a better way. So, this is how we understand. It is on the basis of experiences and the interaction we have. So, this interaction need not necessarily be verbal, it can be in the form of symbols, conversations, gestures, and only then we create this shared understanding of the interaction so that we understand that what the other person is trying to convey even when they are not directly saying it. The next perspective is feminist. Feminist, they arose in the 1780s with the feminist literature, feminist revolutions, but it was only in the early 20th century when women's suffrage and civic reforms they actually took place and the feminist movements actually started seeing the results. Some of the key women sociologists were Marian Weber, Florence Kelly, Jane Addams, and the unfortunate thing that happened back then with the feminist writers or sociologists was that their work was translated by men. And because they did not have a shared understanding and they did not have the same experiences, so the perspective of society and gender was totally translated by men and it lost its meaning and it lost its virtue and the meaning that the women sociologists wanted to convey, it got lost somewhere. Therefore, the history of male response to feminist claims, this is what the feminists said back then, that the feminist movement or what the literature actually wanted to convey, it was not conveyed in the same manner. The last perspective we are going to discuss is post-modernist, which succeeded the period of modernity. The theorists they said that because our world is totally a new kind of a world, it is a world of simulation and hyper reality, where the reality is even better and bigger than reality. People do not want to experience something like going to the jungle. They would rather go to a place that looks like a jungle, and they will have pseudo experiences. So, this kind of world needs new ways of thinking. Therefore, they rejected the classical narratives, the grand narratives, and they preferred limited or no explanations because they were not interested in the core aspects but only the peripheral aspects. They said that postmodern society is implosive and flattening reproductive technology like television, where you can get everything at the tip of your fingers. With a click of a button, you can get everything. So, to understand a society like this, new ways of thinking, which were postmodern in nature, were required. Let us discuss some questions now. According to who, the sociological imagination involves the ability to recognize that private troubles are rooted in public issues and structural problems. So, the sociological imagination was a study, as was a theory by C.W. Mills, who talked about how private troubles are not really private, but they are deep rooted in public issues, and the individuals, they keep becoming the victims of something like that. Question number 2 is, which sociological perspective prefers interdisciplinary studies with integration and argues against boundaries? So, the postmodern perspective, it argues against boundaries and said that the interdisciplinary study of sociology would enhance the outcome, would enhance the research, because in the type of society that we are living today, interdisciplinary is the way to go. So I hope you got the lecture. Thank you for watching.